Leave the Club by Don Toliver featuring Glorilla and Lil Durk just dropped. Stay tuned for our reaction to that.
You're now listening to From the Jump.
Welcome to From the Jump, your source for all things hip-hop. I'm Syllable. This is my co-host,
Mr. White.
So, Mr. White, we got this. It's Don Toliver's season. He's prepping for his new album that's about to drop this coming up Friday, Lovesick, on the 23rd or 24th. And, man, this is exciting. So he's dropped this single in preparation for his new coming up album.
Okay. I saw this song come out and I definitely like the track listing. You know, you got Lil Durk, you got Glorilla, two very prominent hot artists. And then of course you got the return of the Don, you know what I'm saying? He trying to do his thing. And you know, my first impression of the track was that it took me a second to get into it. I don't think immediately I was like really feeling it. The instrumentation is really great. The effects, the ambience, the sonics of it are great. But it feels like it's almost like 1.5 songs. Does that make sense?
I can feel you on that, because when Glorilla's verse pops out, there's not really a transition period, because like Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe with Kendrick Lamar, he has the beat drop out and he has this kind of ambient ad-libs thing, but then he goes into rapping and there was enough time to transition between the two parts of it. It didn't feel like it was copy and paste, drop Glorilla's verse just in the second half of the song. So now his coming up album's going to be 16 tracks, including previously debuted singles such as For Me, Do It Right, and its recent one, Leave the Club. Now, I would say that Leave the Club is definitely a banger. I think it alternates between, you know, pain and pleasure, between beauty and chaos, all with this kind of early 2000s sense of nostalgia.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. And I think that topically, all of the artists were on point. Lil Durk kind of had a rough start to his verse, but they're all talking about instances of basically you don't want to stay at the club, you trying to go home with the lady. And I think that's a very interesting way to approach the topic of going out with your lady, because it's like sometimes you want to go out, but then it's other times you ready to go home. And I think, you know, that is fun, right? Don Toliver always has a lot of fun with his tracks, and this one's no different. But I would have really liked all of them to kind of interpolate and play more together. Like you say, with the end piece being a total different beat switch up with Glorilla coming on there. It felt like it wasn't part of the original song. And I don't know if like the way they ordered them either was great.
Make sure you subscribe and leave a comment below saying I subscribed, and we'll try our best to reply to your comment. Don Toliver starts off the verse introducing us to his world, which is this kind of warped, drug-fueled soundscape. And then following that up, he and Lil Durk trade bars on the hook. And then the second verse, we got Lil Durk coming through, but it's not just Lil Durk. He and Don Toliver are continuously trading bars throughout that entire verse. And then you have this kind of interesting bridge where it's almost like an intro or a bridge where Don Toliver comes in and he raps, "Bet upon my rosé, I'm about to leave the section. See me after hours, I left the club with extras." And then after that, we got Glorilla's gritty verse that comes in, and I wanted to like it, but really I felt like it could have done with more of a transition.
Absolutely. There's nothing that I heard there that made me think that she was a part of the original track. It just sounded like it was extra. So I mean, I'm really excited to hear more songs from Don Toliver. I wasn't 100% a fan of the chorus on this one. I think that it was maybe a little bit too high on the pitch, but overall I think Don Toliver is bringing back what we know of his sound, and hopefully he can improve it in certain ways. And I think it's going to be very interesting to see what he does with this next project.
Well, I would probably disagree with you about the chorus. I did like the chorus. I think he's doing some interesting work there. Part of what Toliver's appeal is that he does have a unique voice and that he does craft it in his kind of definition of this new genre of futuristic soul and R&B. One thing I can definitely say is that, you know, Don Toliver is one of the superstars of the hip-hop rap scene, along the likes with, you know, Megan Thee Stallion and Travis Scott, who's one of his, you know, he's a protege of Travis Scott in a way of speaking. Obviously, you know, he's not as big as Travis Scott or Megan Thee Stallion, but I'm excited to see he's well on his way to be one of the, you know, top new artists coming up. What did y'all think about Lead the Club? Was this one of your favorite tracks? What is one of your favorite Don Toliver tracks? Are you excited about his new album Lovesick dropping next Friday? Comment below, like and subscribe, and tune in for another episode of From the Jump.